I needed somebody who could sing on stage,
Yeah.
live. He could have the tone that Chamkila had, or the diction that Chamkila had. Everything was accurately placed in this one guy and this one guy alone, and that is Diljit Dosanjh. Maybe it is people who should censor because the communication is being made to the people.
Yeah.
So as a filmmaker, I am against any form of censorship.
Interesting.
Art always elevates you. You know more about the art than the audience is expected to know. So you can tell them things that they might not know even.
I watched the film last night, and I have to say that it's everything I think I expected the film to be and more. You know, every time I watch your film, I love being taken out of this entire city experience and immersing myself into this world that you show, the story that you tell, and more often than not, it leans towards Punjab. Right? Do you have an affinity?
Do I have an affinity to Punjab? I seem to.
Yeah.
And it's not as though I obviously knew it, but I also, like the audience saw in my own films, Punjab coming back again and again.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the connection is, but there is a connection, I feel.
Diljit, of course, I don't think you need to hear it, is the perfect cast for this. And I don't think I can imagine anyone else playing this role apart from him, the earnesty that he plays the role with. What is so different about Diljit in comparison to the other actors that you've directed in the past?
I needed somebody who could sing on stage,
Yeah.
live. He could have the tone that Chamkila had, or the diction that Chamkila had. Everything was accurately placed in this one guy and this one guy alone, and that is Diljit Dosanjh. I'm so glad you pointed out, because it's even today that I sent him a message saying that it could not have happened without you. That's how it is. Like,
Yeah.
anyone who sees the film will know it, because we have recorded live music,
Yeah.
live singing. What you see him singing in the film is actually just what we recorded there.
Oh.
With the musicians playing that music. So it's that sound, just like we recorded Sing Sound, or we are talking now and the
Yeah.
audience actually gets to hear this sound,
Right.
not a processed sound. It's not lip synced. It's
Wow.
not background. He has sung it live. So how would it have been possible without him?
Yeah.
Because for that you need a lot of what's called taiyari musically, that you have to hit the note, you have to talk to the audience, you have to appear like that man, Amar Singh Chamkila. So he was really the apt person for it. Apart from that, I feel that he is a very different quantity from any other actor that I've worked with, because you cannot categorize his behavior into actors behave like this or they don't behave like this. He's just a very different energy. It's a very different soul.
Nobody knows much about Diljit apart from the artist that we see. Even on set, did you feel like he's that kind of a person who maintains a little bit about a mystery about him, not intentionally, but because that's the person he is?
I feel that he's not a very talkative person personally.
Yeah.
So it's not as though he will come out and seek company and be chatty and tell everything and want to know everything. He's reserved as a person.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't come across like that on social media, but he's a reserved person. So I think that's what it is. I don't think he's trying to create mystery, because
Yeah.
when you talk to him, he's very truthful, very disarming. He tells you anything that you want to know. But he is a private person. You
Yeah.
know, he does not also interfere into the privacy or space of anybody else. He's very conscious of that.
While researching, about Amar Singh Chamkila, what are the kind of characteristics that you felt, apart from, of course, getting the music right, the diction right, like you mentioned, that reflected in Diljit as well?
Humility.
That's very,
Humility.
it shows on screen.
Right. It's very difficult to act that out if you don't have it, that is one thing that was common. Secondly, the fact that both of them don't come from an urban background. They come from a rural type background. So it's something in the body language, and more than even body language, it's in the demeanor of these people, how they talk. It's not a city slick way of talking. How they give respect to who they are talking to. So there was a big match as far as demeanor is concerned.
Right.
And thirdly, the fact is that both of them are intrinsically music-oriented people. And they don't have to tap their foot to the music to let you know that they are musicians.
Yeah.
It's in the body. Like Chamkila would just break away from his songs and say something to the audience and then come back and talk. If you've seen the film, you
Yes.
see that Diljit also does this.
Yes.
So that is another common factor, which...
But maneuvering while you're singing and then talking to an audience and coming back, and like you just said, it was all live.
It's all live.
Was it challenging either for you or for him to kind of get it together?
Well, the point is that he has the talent for it. Then the challenge is about how to record it, what mics to use. We workshopped it because I'd never done it. And I don't even remember when it last happened in Hindi cinema. Rahman sir helped out technically, and then we did up and down, but we got it. That was possible only because Diljit and then Pariniti could actually sing live like that and then talk, etc. So there is a scene you might have seen in the rehearsal hall where they are rehearsing, both of them.
Yeah.
So they are talking and then they are singing, and he's playing the harmonium also. Yeah. So since he can do all those things together, it is possible. Otherwise, it's impossible.
Today in 2024, the one thing that we see is still relevant from back then is censorship. It's not being censored by a certification board that is recognized by the government, but it's a censorship that is done by the public. As a creative person, do you think that's unfair? Because in terms of how do you function in this noise where you're trying to create and express?
I think from the advent of art, there has been censorship. That is how it is realistically. I would, on the other hand, say that maybe it is people who should censor because the communication is being made to the people.
Right.
If large numbers of people are actually listening to something or watching something and making it immensely successful, then to say that it is unsuitable for viewing or unsuitable for hearing is a hypocrisy. It's anybody's guess.
Right.
If you are the person who's censoring, you will use your sensibilities, your biases.
Very
if
subjective.
I'm the person, it will depend on what my moral standards are.
Yeah.
So as a filmmaker, I am against any form of censorship. That's my position.
In the film, he says that every time when someone tries to tell him to not make the kind of music he is, he says that I'm giving the audience what they want, right?
Correct.
That is my job. If I don't do this, what's going to happen to me? Even today, when we see, say, certain films that may not match sensibilities of a larger audience, but does go with a few people, right? So those filmmakers are saying, we're giving the audience what they want.
I, as a filmmaker, kind of agree and understand what the filmmaker is saying, but I do feel that, being a filmmaker also has a responsibility.
That was the question.
Yeah.
Where does the responsibility kind of come in?
I mean, you just don't give the audience what it already knows it wants. You can also elevate.
Interesting.
Art always elevates you. You know more about the art than the audience is expected to know. So you can tell them things that they might not know even.
This one thing that I really want to know personally is, what is Imtiaz Ali like when he's writing?
I don't enjoy writing.
Really?
Yeah. So I want to get done with it as soon as I can. I feel that going to a very beautiful place into seclusion and writing is a waste of an opportunity of that beautiful place. What's the point of locking yourself inside a room in a very beautiful mountainous countryside? Rather than that, just do it in Andheri West. Get done with it and then go to the Himalayas or Switzerland, wherever you want.
Is that what you
I
do?
have to, being a director, write on the go.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm very happy with that. If I go to office in the daytime, I can write at night.
Well, it comes easy to you. Let's say that.
Well, that's the other way of putting it.
It clearly does.
No, it's like an infection that's coming out anyway. You just need to put it in.
Right.
It's not as though I'm thinking and crafting it.
Coming back to the music of the film, of course, it's beautiful. Whether people understand the language or no, I know they're going to take the time to want to understand what it's about. And I'm very certain of it because I know I did that myself. While you were thinking about the music of this film, were you ever worried about this aspect of it?
Music in this film is of two types. One is the album that A.R. Rahman composes. Those are 6 songs.
Yeah.
And those are in Hindi, but a bit smattering of Punjabi. And then there is the other song. They are the other songs that are Chamkila originals.
Yes.
That Diljit and Pariniti sing. Those are in hardcore Punjabi.
Yeah.
Those are very, very difficult to understand.
But they are beautiful.
We try to do this creative titling for it, so that you get the basic crux of what's flowing from there. We've worked on how to make it accessible for the audience, because the lyrics of Chamkila, what Chamkila said and sang was very important to the consequence of his life in both ways.
Nice. Thank you so much for talking to me and good luck for the film. Thank you.
Thank you so much.